Hello and welcome back to the Rice Robotics Club Robo-Tutorial. In this video, we'll be putting together our final subassembly before doing the full assembly of our robot arm. This assembly will be between this base plate and the bodies of our servos. So back in our Onshape file, we're going to create a new assembly from the file select. We're going to insert all of the bodies that we need. Now, before we do that, we do need to import the servo bodies from the provided CAD files. So go to import from the file select, and in the folder, import this servo body, accept all defaults here, then wait for it to import. So we've imported this servo body. We're going to sort it into our parts folder. And now we're ready to insert some parts into this assembly. We need to insert our base plate, which looks like this. And we need to insert two servos, two instances of the same servo body file. Okay. The green check mark. Great. Okay. So I've already seen this several times. We're actually going to need several group mates this time to make sure that everything that the servo bodies stay together, and also this gear stays fixed to the base plate in the current configuration. So if you drag the gear, it'll move. If you drag any part of a servo, it'll move. So we're going to apply 3 group mates, 1 to each servo body, and then 1 to the base plate itself. So select the group mate. We'll start by selecting these 2 parts, grouping them together. Now they'll move together. Apply another group mate to this servo body. Now all of its parts move together. Apply one final group mate to this servo body. And now we're good to go. We essentially have 3 separate bodies that we now need to mate together to one another to fully define this assembly. So we're going to start, as always, with the fastened mate to the origin. We're going to be fastening this base plate to the origin. So select the fastened mate from the toolbar. Place the first mate connector at the center of the face of this gear, which can be done by selecting the face or by selecting the circular edge. And then select the origin here to add the second mate connector. Now we want the base plate, the parts where the servos will be held, to face upward. So we're going to flip the alignment of this mate. Click the green check mark. Exit the mate dialog. And now we're ready to attach our servo bodies to this base plate. And we're going to accomplish this by using a slider mate and then a planar mate, just as we've done before. So create a new slider mate. This is all going to be very familiar from our other subassemblies. Our first mate connector will be, we want to make sure we get the face of the servo body that's further away from this rotating part of the servo. So don't select this face, select the face that's further away. Place the first mate connector there. Place the second mate connector at the floor of this servo holder, where that face of the servo will sit. Okay. And now we need to flip its alignment so it's not phasing inside the base hub, or the base plate, which it still will be slightly, but that's because we still need to fix our mate connectors so that the slider mate behaves appropriately. So hit the green check mark to confirm this mate, exit the mate dialog. Now if you slide, you'll see it slides along the Z direction, but we need to make sure it actually slides along in this direction, which is along the X axis. So just like we've done before, we need to edit slider mate's mate connectors. This first mate connector is fixed to the servo body. We need its primary axis to be pointing parallel to this edge, okay? It's be pointing along this direction on the servo body. So hit realign and select the primary axis entity to be this edge, or any edge that's fixed to the servo that's also parallel in this direction, okay? And that reorients our primary axis correctly. So now we hit the green check mark and we need to edit the second mate connector. Right click, edit this mate connector. This one's fixed to the base plate, so we need to select some reference fixed to the base plate to realign the primary axis correctly. we want the servo to slide along this direction, so we need to select an edge that's parallel to that direction. In this case, we'll select this edge. That realigns the mate connector, and now we're almost done, but we need to rotate the secondary axis until the servo looks like we want. Now it's fully in position. We'll confirm these changes to the mate connector, and now drag, see that it slides in the correct direction. This is what we want from our slider mate. So our final mate will be, our final mate for this servo will be a planar mate between the back face of the servo body and where that face will rest in our actual robot arm assembly. So select a planar mate from the toolbar, select the back face of this servo, and then select the face where the servo will rest, confirm the mate, and now this servo body is fully defined. So now we'll just need to do the exact same process for this other servo and this servo holder. It'll all look very similar. I'll still talk through it. Create a new slider mate. I would encourage you, we've done the slider mate so many times, I would encourage you to try and do this servo body by yourself. And if you get stuck, I'll still be here to talk you through it. But for now, pause the video and try and mate this servo body correctly on your own. So for our purposes, we want the face that is further from this rotating part of the servo, just like before. We need to select the bottom face where the servo will sit. We need to flip its alignment so that it's not phasing inside the base plate like it is now. Confirm the mate, exit the mate dialog. Now we need to edit the mate connectors that make up the slider mate. I'm going to edit the mate connector that's fixed to the servo. I'm going to realign its primary axis, which is the axis that the two bodies are allowed to slide along with respect to one another. We're going to select this edge, just as we did before, and confirm these changes. And then I'm going to edit the other mate connector, which is fixed to the base plate, and give it an edge, or realign it with reference to an edge that is parallel to the direction that we want the two to slide. Okay. And the final step is to rotate that secondary axis until the servo looks like we want in the assembly. Hit the green check mark to confirm these changes. Now we just need one more mate to fully define this assembly, and it's a planar mate, just like before, between the back of this servo and the wall of this servo holder. So select planar from the mate toolbar, select the back face of this servo, and then select the face where the servo meets the servo holder. Okay, hit the green check mark to confirm. Exit the mate dialog. And now this subassembly is complete. And this is our final subassembly. Make sure to name it appropriately. And then sort the file into our subassembly folder. And now all of our parts and all of our subassemblies are complete. So in the next video, we'll be finally putting all of the subassemblies together into what we call the top level assembly, which will be a semi-functional version of our robot arm. I'll see you in the next video.